IDEIA for Building Principles by Kristen R. Herring for ED-LD 5623 Development Leaders under Dr. Kimberly Wilkerson. IDEIA Project Part 1 was the Special Education Brochure. I created the brochure and named it Educating Special Needs Students at High School, at Silver Mills High School, because I wanted it to be created for the students and parents that are enrolled at Silver Mills in order to provide needed information for them if they are in the special ed program. IDEA Project Part 2 was a mock interview and observation. Before I began, I read and I noted this information. In an interview, the special education teacher and administrator should seek to learn about the educator's credentials, use of mastery in technology, techniques for effectively managing students, creating and acting on an individualized education program, practices keeping parents, guardians informed, and strategies for working with a team. All candidates should be asked the same set of questions by the same individual. Bateman, and Bateman 2014. I was very enthralled in what the teacher had to say in the interview, and I learned a few things about her that I want to share. She has been a special education teacher for 20 years and is currently at the high school level as a co-teacher and a resource teacher. If she's hired, she did say that she would want her class set up with like a conference room with tables and office chairs to give the kids a feeling of being on the job. She said word walls are very important, but it's very important not to overstimulate special ed students. Her classroom management is based on a rewards and consequences cash system where students earn money for meeting expectations and pay fines if they don't. She says that her expectations have more do's than don'ts, and she frequently reviews them. When it comes to communicating with families, she begins at the freshman orientation where she can have face-to-face introductions, and then she uses email, posting of grades weekly, and school status to notify parents of things going on. She feels like students with disabilities should be found in every type of general education class and extracurricular activity. It's a safe place for them to learn to advocate for their needs, a safe place for them to fail and get encouragement to try again. It's a place they can learn functional skills like communication, and it's good for society because regular ed, the typical student, learns how to care about the needs of all people. These students can manage athletic teams or join organizations, but they also may be fully capable of competing with or without accommodations, and she's willing to help if they do need those accommodations. She builds working relationships by eating lunch with teachers and building friendships. She has an open door policy to discuss her caseload. She stays on an hour after school and is available at that time or answers emails most days in the afternoon, and she is a part of professional learning communities. She uses a variety of educational technology like LMS systems and Canvas and Schoology. She screencastifies her lessons so that students can see them later. She uses a variety of programs and applications to reinforce and remediate, and gets 6 hours of PD in technology each summer. She has every part of an element present in her lesson plan, but I wanted to point out that she addresses goals of students in her lesson plan and talks about how they will be assessed and remediated if that's needed. She feels like groups should be created based on diversified levels and cultures. She has listed a variety of modifications, and she said there were many others, modifications and accommodations that she's used from the least severe to the most severe type student. And she's done all kinds of standardized testing. She's also disaggregated the data and planned for interventions. I observed her in a resource math class where she had a paraprofessional that assisted her, a paraprofessional that assisted one student, and a speech-language pathologist that pushed in to assist with achieving language goals. In the class, I did mention she had the class cash system, and to deal with disruptions and discipline, she had fines that students had to pay when they weren't meeting their expectations. She did review expectations throughout. She didn't provide a reminder, and if it continued, then she would. Transitions happened smoothly. There was timers set up so that students were prepared, and the schedule was posted on the student's desk, and she provided reminders. She used a variety of media, but mainly it was TVs, Chromebook with casting, and a document camera. And the classroom arrangement, she had desks for direct instruction and tables for small groups. In the lesson, students went bell to bell. She provided the objective with the bell ringer, direct instruction, and small groups. She assessed at the end and told them how they were going to use the information they learned today in tomorrow's lesson. An interesting approach to handling behavior was when she had students that were arguing about their pencils and the length of their pencils. All the students had to measure and be prepared to coordinate and chart the planes for that the next day. Students were given many opportunities to practice and to use vocab throughout the lesson, and the guided practice used materials that students were familiar with to make comparisons. I found a family atmosphere in the classroom, which helped her build rapport and make the learning environment feel safe for everyone. Students were involved in real-world life skills, which was very cool to me, being a CTE teacher. Collaboration was key to all of the professionals in the room. They have an established time to plan and carry out effective lessons. They work together very well. They give students high fives when they do things well. The teacher works with the general education teacher to accommodate and modify, and the mock interview and observation prepared me for actual interviews that I will actually be doing tomorrow